Now let's move on to Alexandru from the Basel Institute of Governance. We've talked a lot about capacity building and training is a core component of support that the Basel Institute of Governance provides. At the same time, we also know that one-off training sessions alone are not sufficient to build sustainable capacity to investigate complex cases involving virtual assets or to effectively pursue asset recovery. Could you maybe explain how the Basel Institute approaches long-term capacity building in its partner countries, particularly in the area of virtual assets and asset recovery?
Thank you very much, Vera, for your question. And I think before answering this, I would like to briefly introduce the Basel Institute on Governance, and specifically the International Center for Asset Recovery, which I'm part of, for those who may not be familiar with our work. The Basel Institute is a non-profit organization, first of all, and provides technical assistance and capacity building to both public and private sector. Our works cover a wide range of areas, including anti-corruption, obviously, financial investigation, operational analysis, asset recovery, multi-legal assistance, and of course, investigation or training on investigation involving virtual assets. In addition to training, we also support partner jurisdiction directly on real cases, particularly alongside with investigative and prosecutorial authorities. So if I'm coming back to your questions and to address, basically, it is from the, I would say, multi-angle view, one of the key lessons that we have learned is that, obviously, as you said, one-off training session alone are not enough, or it is not enough to build sustainable capacity, basically. Especially when we're dealing with complex investigation involving like crypto assets, and we know that this technology is evolving in each day. I don't think there is a good, I would say, a terminology or term to say an expert in crypto, because probably in each day you have something new, so you don't really have to chase this train of technology, to chase this train of evolving terms and notification. So first, I think we have to discuss here about the investigation of the cases. And the important thing is to make a step back. Exactly like Valentin said previously, that it's not just one person or one individual authority that can lead to a success investigation or to a successful, probably, asset recovery. It's an entire chain. So we have to understand what actually triggers an investigation. In many cases, it starts with the probably victim complaints or reports submitted by reporting entities. And this is a very crucial, because the quality of those initial reports can significantly influence the success of the investigation, of even the prosecution, and of course, then conviction and asset recovery. For example, let me give you a small one. Just last week, the Institute conducted an open online training on crypto-related investigations for general audience. So not just for a specific authority from the public sector. I was genuinely impressed by several AML officers who clearly understood what an investigation needs in order to create a meaningful and actionable, I would say, reports. And this is very extremely important, because if we can make an analogy or sport analogy, and a sport analogy is like a good service is already 50% of the win. So if you have a strong in front of you document or report, we can call it a trigger, then of course, or intelligent package even, it gives the investigator a much stronger starting point and know how to deal with that. So if we're talking about the trainings, basically, one of our first, I would say, measures or approach is to ensuring that investigative authorities are fully understand the nature of these cases and how they can work together effectively. In our training for public authorities, we basically bring together the entire chain, institutional chains or public chain, from first responders, could be FIU, could be other authorities, to investigators, prosecutors, and definitely the judges. So this helped different institutions better understand each roles and to speak the same language, basically. Also align the expectation and of course to improve the success rate or the case outcomes or the conviction rate, if you want. Another important approach is what Basel Institute is doing is we use the train of trainer model. In this, for instance, in a specific jurisdictions, we select local experts that can provide them afterwards a specific set of knowledge. So we provide them with intensive training over multiple workshops based on the methodology which is developed here within ICAR, International Center on Asset Recovery, as a part of Basel Institute. So the objective here is very clear: to create sustainable local expertise. So once the Institute direct engagement ends, the knowledge transfer continues. And the final one, which I think in my honest opinion, is one of the most impactful methods and often delivers most tangible results, is Basel Institute on Governance is embedded with or delegating to support a specific jurisdiction or authority with our experts. So where they work alongside with investigative authorities or prosecutors on real cases. So this essentially is an approach of learning by doing, basically. We guide investigators, prosecutors through practical challenges, help them to identify efficient investigative strategies, or we support them with decision-making, operational decision-making. In this way, authorities acquire practical skills and necessary expertise directly from hands-on experience. So directly on the cases, they can learn from our experts how they can tackle specific problem, how they can obtain information, how they can perform specific actions, how they can draft even a motor legal assistant request, which is very important in order to obtain expected replies from a specific jurisdiction. So this is and we consider this is, and it was already proven, which is often far more effective than theory alone. Specific investigation and asset recovery will be for the first time created by Basel Institute on first responders to the judges. Everything this will be based on a real practical case, of course, sanitized one, which you will have for the full 5 days of this course, a real experience how a case can be tackled and what is expected as an outcome for a success, I would say success or happy ending or success story.
Thank you so much, Alexandru, for those concrete examples of what the Basel Institute is doing, especially in, ensuring sustainability. That's local expertise, really training of trainers, and a very practical approach.